Yeah.
He's the fun uncle. I'm the strict uncle.
That is actually true. Yeah, they can't get away with anything around
No,
him.
this one wants to gossip with them. None of that. I just want you to be good. I want you to be okay.
Hi, I'm Fisayo Akinade. I play Mr. Ajayi in Heartstopper.
Hello, I'm Nima Taleghani and I play Mr. Farouk in Heartstopper.
And this is our Attitude Shoot. It feels amazing, doesn't it?
Yeah, it feels lush.
Yeah, it feels like it's something that so many people have embraced and loved, and something that, like, I genuinely, when we made the first season, was just making this cute little show in Slough, this adorable little thing. Hopefully some people will watch it. And then when it came out and it was this global hit, I was like, what's going on? And it's just been like a joy ever since. And I made some real friends for life, I think.
Who's that friend for life you'd say you made?
Probably Nima.
Scott.
Probably.
The teacher who I based the character on had a massive impact on me. And he was ferocious. You know, I remember when I got my ear pierced when I was 16. I probably had like a really like jazzy like cubic zirconia earring, a big one. And it was like, Nima. I was like, yeah, you look like an idiot. And then when we'd do badly in a test, he'd fume, like he'd switch, bust it like his veins were going, he'd scream and shout, and I've never experienced this type of love. You know, this is like tough.
Because he cares.
Tough, volatile love. So yeah, I tapped into a bit of that.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I had much more nurturing. I had a maths teacher who let me sort of sit in his classroom at lunchtime because I was being bullied. And which is kind of like, when I read this, I was like, oh my God, it's the same thing. And I can offer that to somebody else. The intensity, no. I don't have social media, so like, thankfully I'm not, well, not thankfully, because I'm really grateful for the fans, but I think they are a bit like rabid, joy-filled dogs with bones. It's like any tidbit you give them, they leap on, and which is amazing. And I remember when it first came out, they all grouped together to do a thing where they'd watch it time and time again to like make sure it stayed trending for weeks. And I was like, that is real dedication. They did there was a whole thing of like, I've watched it 18 times, I'm gonna put it on today, and they just put it on.
Run up the numbers.
The whole season, like again and again and again for weeks. It was kind of, I love the dedication. I know that Mr. Ajayi would be like, sorry to swear, f your rules. He'd be like, no. If they tried that here, he'd be like, oh, okay, and would absolutely carry on. In fact, he'd probably be a bit bolder. He may end up getting fired, but I can't imagine there being a world where he would follow a rule like that. It's so detrimental. And it's what people don't really like. People try and frame it. So I'm going to go off on one now. People try and frame it as like protection for children, and you're like, you do realise though that by denying something that is occurring naturally within a person could actually drive them to like really catastrophic, detrimental, damaging, and dangerous circumstances. Acceptance is the best thing you can offer to anybody. As soon as you go, that's terrible and disgusting, you force children to places where they consider suicide, where they are self-harming, and it's not okay, and it's not protection, and it's not good, and it's not helpful. It's the cruelest, coldest thing in the world, and I would encourage every parent, teacher, everybody to just accept what your child, friend, brother, sister, whoever comes to you with, because acceptance is the only way through, and anything else is dangerous.
I think Mr. Farouk will be like heartbroken because of where he's at in his journey. It's kind of like, I think he would find it quite devastating and quite like silently sort of like hold it and make every day a bit more tricky than it already is, kind of.
it's kind of shocking how much care I have for them, because, you know, they're all like 18 plus, but I do feel like a level of responsibility. And I don't know if that's, if I was playing something else or somebody else, that would still be there, but I really do care about their well-being a lot. So there was a lot of bleed into real life. Like, we took a bunch of them to the theatre, and we were like their chaperone.
Proper chat, like, here's your ticket, sit there.
Yeah, we'll be over here if you need us. Do you need a drink? Would you like a wine? It was really...
You become so fond, like, and you do feel like a certain, like, bit of duty of care, and like, I mean, just want you to be okay.
Yeah, and to be obviously, like, we've been working longer than some of them, and there's, you know, a few career questions and stuff. But yeah, I think we really, like, we really have taken on those roles in real life.
Fun uncle.
Yeah.
He's the fun uncle.
Yeah.
I'm the strict uncle.
That is actually true. Yeah, they can't get away with anything around
And
them.
this one wants to gossip with them. None of that. I just want you to be good. I want you to be okay. I'm long term.
I mean, I'd love it explored further. I think they both have aspects in each other that, like, they could both benefit from. I think, like, Mr. Ajayi is a bit of a, like, chill out, fun.
I'm sure.
Yeah. And then I think Mr. Farouk's maybe forwardness is something that Mr. Ajayi could take on, you know.
It's a fine line where the directness ends and the repression begins.
Yeah.
So, you know, I can learn a little saying about
A little more openness, so I could learn be a bit more direct. I fancy it rather than, like, maybe I'm flirting with you. So yeah.
Yeah, simplicity of, like, expression. And
Yeah. But then I think the effect they have on each other is quite lovely, because I think Mr. Ajayi becomes much more direct and forward as a result of hanging out with Mr. Farouk, and I think Mr. Farouk becomes more open as a result of Mr. Ajayi. So they really influence each other in a really beautiful way.